Hello, I'm Sky B. Kelly, and I'm here to show you how to add handles to my Node2D Gizmo project. This is going to be an unedited video and an entirely unscripted one, in which I guess that I'm going to have to even introduce Node2D Gizmo, because I've never done a video about it. I've written a couple of devlogs, I've written a whole store page and all of that I'll link to in the description, I guess, under this video. I'm going to link to the video in a devlog. That's really why I'm recording it. At any rate, here's Node2D Gizmo. What Node2D Gizmo does is it adds 2D gizmos to Godot for Node2Ds and other similar objects. I've got a couple set up here. You can see this is a rotation gizmo. I've got some like more complicated cone gizmo with various different handles. You can do all this and more. Let me show. What I'm going to do is, now that I've shown you basically, like, this is what it is. It edits, each of these handles edits a property. For example, this red handle edits the angle of this cone. The green handle edits the length of the cone. Oh, whoops. You can see here. The blue handle edits the rotation. If you click on the storage resource, which is here, and you'll have to click through to get to the handles, but at this point now you can just click through there, find the one you're looking for. I'm looking for a cone editing handle, maybe the green, blue rotation will do. You can modify the handles on the fly down here. So I'm going to set this one, this blue one, to draw also a labeled line. And there you go. See, now it has a label showing you what the property is set to, so you don't have to constantly go over here to the inspector. So that's the basics there. Let me disable this real quick. I'll disable the cone too. You don't need these extra different plugins. You only need the main plugin, but the extra plugins add handles a little bit helpful in that way. And also you can do stuff like draw this arc. I'm using the cone plugin to draw the arc still. But you see the example vectors in the rotation plugin, you don't really need, and the most of the cone, you don't really need any extra plugin beyond the main. All right. Oh, that's fine. I'll disable gut too. Boy, this is a noisy audio. I'm hearing it in my headphones, all the little clicks and stuff from my mouse. That's fine though. Here, I've disabled it. I'm going to delete the storage resource. Yes, I'm sure. Remove the selected files. Cannot be undone. Warning. Yeah, remove it. I'm going to re-enable Node2D Gizmo. Yeah, save and close. It's going to want to restart your editor when you do that. What I'm going to show you is how to just add a handle from the start. Oh, VS Code's open here. This method of adding a handle will be usable in version 0.8.0, which is not released yet. That's what I'm showing you here. I'll probably put out like 0.8.0, I think, is probably going to come out sometime in February. But so here we are. You see there are none of the handles. If I press Alt, only the standard translation gizmo or /scaling gizmo. If I press Control, come up. This is Godot 4.5.1, so those both exist here. If I open up storage.tres and I add a new element, we're going to see errors down here. Remember, this is unreleased A. B, it certainly isn't even the final version. 0.8.0 is not 1.0.0. So we're going to see errors down here. Don't worry about it, basically. So I'm going to add a new ng handle, which is the data type thing that we use for all Node2Ds, and I want it to be linked to rotation. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here and click to a different thing. Now the errors, after I've selected a different node to kind of refresh the editor, Now the error is a little bit helpful. Trying to return value of type float from a function whose return type is vector2. What that means in the context of this is that we have the conversion type set wrong. It's trying to convert the handle position directly to a vector2. What we want is for it to convert the handle position into node rotation. So I'm going to select node rotation, and that instantly fixes that error. And in fact, we should be able to rotate things now. Yes. You can see these little children nodes here. The example cones move with it. It's rotating in its own local space. I mean, it's rotating in its parent space, I guess. Its own local space is rotating with it, though, as should be expected. Now, one thing is the handle in its current state changes size when you zoom in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the options here, and I'm going to turn on global. That'll cause it to always be the same size, no matter how you are zoomed in or out. That'll cause it to also kind of, in this case, because of how we have it set, it will stay attached to the node. Sometimes, for most of these conversion types, like for example, if we had it set to handle position, maybe I'll show you on the vector example, setting it to global would actually cause the handle position to be just wherever you set it. So if I set it to 0, 0, it would be up here in the upper left corner of the editor at 0, 0, aptly. So something else we might want to do is to not have to see it all the time. Maybe I only want to see it when we press Alt, like only when we see these translation gizmos. So let's do that. Let's open up storage again, go back over to the handle, open up required keys and turn on Alt. And that should, yep, now we have to press Alt. Now we might not want it to show up if we press Control also. Like see, pressing Control and Alt sets these to become scaling gizmos rather than translation gizmos. So I only want the rotation gizmo to show up when I'm pressing Alt and not when I'm pressing Control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set on the exact keys option, and that'll do it. Now if I press Control and Alt, only the scaling gizmos come up. But if I press Alt alone, both the translation gizmos and the rotation gizmo come up simultaneously. Let's see, what else can I show you? Well, that's basically it. I guess that's how you add gizmos in 0.8.0. Let's open up the vector example and see. I think that this Node2D here is, oh, that's a sprite. Test is a vector, has vec on it. And it is an example of vectors. So let's try to add a handle for that. Let's add a handle, a new handle. We're going to see the errors again. Well, maybe we won't. Thought we might. We'll set this to example vectors. And we'll set, what do we have over there? Vec. Let's control vec for now. Let's control global vec so I can show you what I meant with the global handle. And I think that is global underscore vec. Yep, property, global underscore vec. Let me open up global, open up the handle and enter global underscore vec as the linked member. Let's see, handle position is what we want. So will it work? And let's see what happens if we restart this. Now remember, this is unreleased. I'm going to post this whole thing unedited. Don't think that I'm going to release this with this kind of bizarre user experience and still in place. It'll be a bit smoother before I release even 0.8.0. Certainly before I release 1.0.0. If you, oh, there we go. See, now that I've restarted it, the handle does show up. I will fix that, of course. You can see, by the way, that if you edit the property over here, the handle updates in real time. This is what I mean by global. in general. Oh, what? It's behind part of the editor. If I move this to say 100, 100, then we should be able to drag it around to wherever we want, of course. And then as we scroll around, that handle is going to stay right there. It's in global space rather than being in local space. So there you go. That's the basics of how to add a handle, and it's also hopefully a decent introduction to Node2D Gizmo. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that you will consider purchasing this tool.